Miss Toni Morgan giving her affidavit on the medical procedures today and their pros, if any, and their cons. And I would like to start with, how are you doing today, Toni? What is that? Morgan? Morgan. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right?
Yes.
All right. Now, Miss Morgan, would you tell us and let us know your opinion of the medical field if you go in with a problem to the ER?
Okay, well, it's pretty simple. It's bullshit. Complete and total horseshit. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen...
Now you know that this is...
national television?
This is a PG station. So
I can't swear. All right, you might have to retake that whole scene.
No, we can just edit. Go ahead.
Okay, edit that out.
All right.
I think it's a load of nonsense. I think nobody knows what they're doing. I think they're just trying to get people in and out. So what they do is they get you in, they stuff you in a room, they let nurses poke and prod at you for an hour. And as far as diagnosing what's wrong with you, they don't run any tests at all whatsoever.
Now I do realize you have a bestseller release book out right now, but
that's right.
But please hear me out when
New
I do say that what is it that you mean by the poking and the prodding? Because I myself have never gone to the ER for anything.
Okay, look, it makes sense to me. If somebody comes into the ER and they have a problem. Let's say they have a problem with their nose. They've been sneezing constantly for 3 days straight, which would be a horrible thing to go through. So you have to diagnose what the problem is. Well, when somebody comes in and they're sneezing for 3 days straight, you never know. They might have something up there that's causing the problem. But instead of scanning their head to see what the problem is, they just kind of go, oh, all right, let's bring in a nurse to poke you. Take 5 bottles of stuff.
Poke
blood.
You? Now what is that?
Poke you? Take blood samples,
Oh, okay.
Call it a rainbow. They bring in 5 little bottles with different colored lids on them. They suck blood out of you.
Now, are you saying...
can't get blood out of you, or if they forget to get 1 bottle, then guess what? They do it all over again. Now what if that person came in with some kind of infection or their immune system is compromised? They've not been poked with a needle, handled by dozens of people, not to mention all the sick people in the ER already, and what do they get? No answer. None. What do they get out of that? Sorry, go ahead.
Now, are you telling this jurisdiction that you have seen the...
Are we in court or on television?
You know the answer to that. Now, here's the question: are you saying that you have seen these actual rainbows when you go into the hospital?
Yes.
You've seen them?
Oh yeah.
Like the rainbows that you see after a rainstorm?
No, I'm telling you, they send a little lady in with looks like a little toolkit, and she's got little plastic bottles, and each little plastic bottle has a different colored lid, and they call it taking a rainbow panel. It's a blood test where they run all of your numbers, and they see what your red count and your white count and all that is.
I see.
Well, so fine. They bring you in, and that's the first thing they do. Blood test, check for $500, and then, the nurses are very kind half the time, and they'll really seem to be interested in what your problem is. The doctor comes in and completely disregards anything the nurse has written down on her sheets and then says, here's some Advil, go home.
Well, that's horrible care.
Yes, it is horrible care.
And these people are getting paid for this.
And you were there for 4 hours. 4 hours you were in there. They know what they're going to do. Honest to God, do you think that you could really regulate this a little bit better and you could have it be more efficient? If you're just going to flat out the door, give everybody the same blood test, give them the same damn treatment, then, why don't you just come in the door, sit down, have the rainbow lady come by and poke everyone.
And what color is the rainbow lady, the little one you were speaking of?
They're all different colors and sizes. Some of them are men.
Men?
Most of the time it's a woman, though.
Are they...
Statistically, they're women.
Are they of average color, or do you ever see a blue one, or perhaps a purple?
No, human shades, all varying shades of brown and tan.
Brown and tan?
Brown and tan and peach.
Peach.
I did see one once that looked very similar to Count Dracula. That's why he got into the profession.
Well, I'll tell you this. How would you fix this method? Now, do bear in mind we live in the cornfields.
We do. No
So you have to
excuse.
think of city as well. That's getting an inflow of, maybe 100 an hour.
No excuse. The same thing is always done. The same thing is always done. If somebody comes in with a broken leg, it doesn't matter. They still are going to run this rainbow panel to test whether there's infection or not. Well, they have a broken bone. Odds are they do, you know. And most of the problem here is because of lawsuits. And the lawsuits are justified because half the time they do make horrible mistakes and misdiagnose people. So, let's just turn the whole thing into a fast food restaurant. And what are you doing? Up,
Oh
up.
no, I'm just.
My eyes are up here there.
No,
Johnny, behave.
it's important that we do get an image of the full spectrum.
You walk into the ER, and if you're not missing a limb, just got hit by a car, and you have to go in and sit for 4 hours, I've got a better solution. You walk into the ER, you go into a little booth, and you sit down. At this little booth, the little rainbow lady comes by, and she just tags every single one of you, because that's what they're going to do anyway. They're going to do it anyway, except they're going to make you wait 3 hours to do it. Well, a doctor comes in and says, I think what you need to do is draw blood. They do it to everyone. I've never seen a case where they didn't do it. They take at least one blood sample.
And then what do they do with that plasma after they're done?
Send it down to the lab, and they spin it around in their little centrifuge, and it comes back and it says, oh, okay, your red count, your white count, whatever else.
And then
Somebody comes in and they're yellow, run one that has a hepatic panel too. If they're yellow, obviously there's something wrong with their liver. There's some things that are just so straightforward and simple that they're wasting your time to do that. They're only doing it for reasons of insurance companies wanting to know that they're absolutely going to cover the bill later on by saying, did you run this test or that test, and can I get out of paying it? It's not necessary. It's not necessary to bring people in and stick them in a little waiting area just to do the same test they're going to do anyway.
Well, that's very true.
You know, meanwhile, Susie Rainbow Panel's down there having a Coke, and the doctor says, you know what, I need you to come up here and poke the next one that came in. And she's like, I could have told you that 2 hours ago when they got here.
That's right.
She knows that. Everyone knows it.
So you're saying that all these people are, in fact, on different pages.
Oh, 100% on different pages. Because they all are getting dictated to. I mean, they're taking their orders from a doctor. And this doctor, you know, he might spend an hour in with someone discussing the same shit the nurse already, the same stuff the nurse already wrote down. He'll spend an hour there asking you the same questions over again. Read the paper while you're walking your ass back to get another cup of coffee. Read the paper. See what it says.
I see.
What is the person complaining of having wrong with them? You know, I mean, what are the basic tests that you have to do to get that done? And I understand you want to avoid doing an MRI or an X-ray if you don't have to, but if somebody comes in and they have painful swelling in their limb, the first thing you do is an X-ray. And if that person is smoking and they're over the age of 35 and they drive for more than 4 hours a day in a seated position, like most people do when they're driving, what is the first thing you're going to do if you're a doctor? This is like early medical school stuff.
You're gonna
Blood
check
clot is a possibility.
Oh, certainly so.
It's a high possibility. What do? You scan the leg. Run blood tests. It's so simple. If somebody comes in and they're having pain and pressure in their eye, what do? You know, you look up their nose. Did they look up your nose when you went in?
I know.
A little light and a little thing, look up your nose, look in your ear. The basic stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Take your blood pressure. Ask you about your symptoms. The nurse asks you about all that stuff. And then what happens when the doctor comes in? What does the doctor do when he comes in?
He asks the same stuff.
He asks the same stuff. And then what did he do after that?
Not a whole bunch, really.
He said, I think it's pink eye, and gave you antibiotics.
Well, he called it some term with a C.
Conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
Which is inflammation of the eyelid tissue. It's insane. Patient
Well, I'll tell you.
presenting with a swollen eye, a possible congestion. You could have had a blockage in your sinuses, or any dozen other things that it could have been other than pink eye.
Well, we've got 15.
It wasn't itching.
We've
It
got
wasn't
10,
red. It wasn't inflamed.
We've got 10 seconds left.
Okay.
Please tell us the name of your book coming out.
Why doctors are assholes and think they know more than everyone else. New York Times bestseller list.
Thank you, Toni. You've gave a wonderful affidavit. Now, if you'll make your way into the courtroom so that the judge can sentence you.